What's up, everybody? You're listening to Podcastrophe. You can find us by searching Podcastrophe on all of your favorite podcasting platforms like Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, and more. You can also find us at JourneyIntoComics.com. We drop a new episode every single Thursday. Be sure to subscribe to Podcastrophe to get the show and exclusive content. We record each episode live every Tuesday around 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, and you can watch that on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just follow Podcastrophe on any of those platforms, and be sure to chat with us. Also, be sure to check out the Journey into Comics Network and all of its amazing shows. Now, on with the show!
The following Journey into Comics.
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 Journey into Comics
Network. Production.
Who's ready for Huggies?
Warning, Podcastrophe imminent.
This is Podcastrophe with Nick and Tyler, and we're coming at you with a fistful of heritage on a podcast where anything goes and there are no safe spaces. This is Podcastrophe!
That's like Live, Laugh, Love, except for trailer parks.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Dick. This is Podcastrophe, episode 108. And I have a very full couch right now. What is up, guys?
Hey, how you doing?
What's up?
I got Austin Hill making his first appearance on the show.
Hey.
Like, first official appearance. Because you weren't part of the Trumpcrux, were you?
I don't believe so. I think I was part of the. I was part of one of the Game of Thrones, the Game of Chairs.
Yeah.
Whatever that was called. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, it was the Game of King Chair. So,
Game of
but
King Chairs.
That's like a sideshow.
A little sideshow. I wasn't part of the Trumpcrux. I didn't make it on those. I want to say this. Yeah, this is definitely my first time. First time present, not the first time commenting though.
First time. What is that, like? Long time listener, first time caller?
Yeah.
First time caller, long time listener?
Something like that.
Or first time listener, long time caller, some shit. Yeah. Then we got Steven Dilden.
Yeah, I think this is his first time too.
Yeah, I mean, he made his appearance on Happy Fun Metal Time.
Happy Fun Metal Time.
Good times.
And we got Creed Burse. What up, man?
What's
going on? We got a lot of first timers here. It's great.
Went 3 for 3.
Smacking the hymen.
But they're not. Yeah. But they're not. They're not strangers to podcasting, because you guys have been in Brews with Dudes a lot.
Yeah.
You've done tons of Brews with Dudes, tons of Dungeons with Dudes. Yeah.
Yeah. Been on a few other select ones.
Yep. I remember there was an episode of Journey into Comics that made it into the system with you on it. Although some may claim it's not you.
Some may claim. Yeah, I remember that one.
God damn, that was. Yeah, that was.
That's when I went on that. That's when that guy went on that rant about Tremors and stuff. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh my God! Like your character that you created was the most like grating and annoying. Like constantly interrupting everybody. It was
just
like
nonstop.
Yep.
Just oh yeah, I have everything to say about that before you. I think I quite got to Nick by the end of that episode.
we're getting sad reacted because we're also primed. Which
What's the sad phases for?
I think it's because we're primed. Well, primed is something we call it. Something goes wrong with the feed, and from what I understand, it's only happening on Facebook Live. But
It freezes?
no, it doesn't freeze. But for some reason, our voices get really deep.
No, that's fine.
See, I've
Yeah,
got
I
that
don't
problem
care.
already.
Just put the subwoofer down and let me
It's
talk
gonna
to
be
you.
right.
Hey.
It's gonna be fine in the recording and all the other feeds. Just for some reason, Facebook. But we call it primed because it makes you sound like fucking Optimus Prime.
Dope.
Yeah.
Well, just sit on that subwoofer so Optimus Prime can just
Right. I won't talk like this the rest of the time. I promise.
just like what is that Howard Stern did.
Oh, the Sibian.
Yeah.
Sippy
No, he
machine?
did it. No, he would. You saw it in the movie Private Parts where he had a female caller call and said how sexy his voice is.
Yeah.
And she wanted to do that, and he's like, turn your bass all the way up and set your speaker on the floor and sit on the subwoofer, and he's just like the whole time, and like live on air, and then she was having this very vocal orgasm on air.
Damn. Yeah. I remember that part.
And they chose the actress to portray this woman to be a very hot, busty blonde.
We got Nate Phillips. He says, "You sound like Isaac Hayes."
Who, me?
One of us. Probably me.
Good.
I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah, it says, "Can't get enough of your prime, baby."
That's a compliment.
Good.
Yeah.
That was probably really deep too.
Oh, yeah.
This soup is tasty.
If you're listening to this podcast, just know that "oh yeah" was for the feed. It was for the live feed.
Oh, this is a great message. I just called the law on a naked dude across the road who was beating his glass screen door out.
That's not normal.
Welcome
my
to
response
Lafayette.
is going to be, oh, fuck, yeah.
Picture didn't happen.
Yeah.
I called the law.
Called
That's
the
like
law.
one of my favorite ways to hear people say they called the cops.
You said this lady across the street from me, she was like 98, and she'd always come running out of her house late at night when we were up to no good. "I'll call the law." I never heard anybody say it until she did that, and I couldn't stop laughing at her.
So my friends, Kyle and Carl and a couple other people, this was like my junior year of high school. We went to Walmart at like 11:30 at night or some shit like that. It was empty. It was the one over on Veterans Memorial. We got in there, got our stuff out. We were out in the parking lot, and we saw these girls. One of them ended up being Taya. Turns out, years later, I find it out. Like, oh wow, shit, I met you that night.
But they in a Walmart parking lot?
Yeah, they were
Only
in their
Indiana.
car jamming to Bullet for My Valentine. So, and they were just fucking getting it. Fucking had the volume cranked.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Seen before.
And
not,
then-
not necessarily that band. But
So
yeah.
we're like, all right, let's get in the Ombre. So he had a Isuzu Ombre. he just fucking cranked some damage plan. And then we just started rocking out in the parking lot, not inside the truck, but in the parking lot. They notice, they come outside, and we just all have a fucking blast out there. At one point, they all put their Zippo lighters together in the middle of all of us because it was late November, and we're just like keeping warm. Out of nowhere, some guy is like walking out of Walmart, and he's like, "Hey guys, you might want to scram. Management just called the law."
Management just called the law.
Sure, like we got the hell out of there, and sure enough, cops coming right.
Is that an Indiana thing? Because I never heard that until I was an adult.
I had never heard it until
A
he
teenager,
just said it.
anyways. Yeah. The fuck?
Wow. He beat both his doors out. He now has no doors.
Or pants. Oh, you got actual pictures.
And then I got an actual picture of the house with the doors beaten out.
That's. I mean, some people
Damn,
party harder than others.
Where is that? That looks.
That's over. That's over behind that dealership on the corner of 18th and Main.
Okay. Wow.
It's in that little neighborhood back there,
Okay.
just behind that church.
I was thinking like.
It's actually on the same road as that church.
I was gonna say I was thinking like Greenbush or some shit.
Oh no, it's over by Alabama.
Over by Bama.
Over by bad Alabama Street, not the good one.
Is there a good one?
Start getting into those city names, you never know what you're gonna come across. On
Right.
Indiana, Lafayette streets.
So, Steven,
Yo.
I hear something happened to you Saturday night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how's that head?
Well, I've been. I
Oh shit!
You can
Right
actually
here?
kind
You
of
can
see
see
it,
it.
Oh
yeah.
my god!
Well,
Turn out.
it turned out painfully.
like a little vagina on your head.
Tell
two
us
of
what
them.
happened.
There are two gashes in my head. Well, there was a ruckus, and
Yeah.
I
Little
was
ruckus
partially inebriated.
with the one-armed man.
But that's, the inebriation isn't
was-
really
it
part
was
of it.
literally
there
the
was
one-armed
There was a
man.
one-armed man, and he was trying to start shit with like 50 people, and I don't even know what was going on.
Was
I'm
he
just,
angry at the world because he has one arm?
I think that he was addicted to heroin.
I would have pushed him on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
No, his buddy did get pushed on the floor.
I would have pushed the one-armed man on the floor and said, "Hey, catch this."
But so I don't know. There was a ruckus. There was a quarrel, if you will, and I made my way to the front of everything to see what was going on, you know. And by the time I was like, "Yo," to try to break things up, I was laying on the ground and my head exploded.
Yeah, he said, "No, this bottle."
Yeah, apparently it's unprovoked. I wasn't even part of it. I just so much for being curious and walking up and see what's going on. But this guy decides that my head is not complete without a smashed bottle over it, and then everything turned to blood, crimson blood in my eyeballs. It was on my hands and my hair. I had a dreadlock of blood for a 24-hour period that I had to like pick scab tissue, coagulated nasty shit out of my fucking hair. I missed 2 days of work because I couldn't stand up straight. And
Funny, but I'm sorry, it is now.
yeah, it's bullshit, you know, because I'm perfectly capable of defending myself when this fucking 70-year-old one-armed man smashes a beer bottle out of my head out of the fucking nowhere, and I'm laying on the ground like a little bitch. I can't even get back up. I guess I was humbled. I was humbled.
Skull, it's delicate, man.
Hey, man.
In spots, you know.
It only
Especially
leaked a
the
little
frontal
bit.
lobe.
It bled for 2 days. I probably could have got stitches, but they would have had to have shaved this. Well, I don't want super glue on my fucking hair either. That's going to take
that
just as
washes
long.
out.
It'll heal up. I've been like squeezing medicine into it, like, you know, filling it, like grouting my head with
So when
triple
you
antibiotic
actually
ointment.
get old enough to actually get that hair receded back, you're gonna have sweet battle scars.
Oh no, that ain't in my bloodline, man. This ain't going nowhere.
You lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
My blood father is like in his 70s now, and his hair is just as thick as mine. So I do have some bald cousins. They got the bad bloodline though. They got married to the wrong dude. Well, their mom
Their
did.
mom married the wrong dude.
Yeah.
Or at least got knocked up by the wrong one.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, I got knocked the fuck out.
Was that a good show though?
It was a
No, the
fantastic
was
show.
great. That was,
It
that was the
Mound Builders.
Mound Builders, Tiger Sex, and Ope.
Okay.
And that's my first time seeing Ope with good production.
Yeah.
And they just ruled because I saw them at Harvest Fest, but I'd been like up all day.
You didn't see him at the Shakedown?
No,
Okay.
I got there after they played.
I got to the house and started barbecuing.
Nice. I think I saw Ope at the end of spring show.
Yeah.
I saw them. I think that's the only time I have seen them because I think we left before they played at the Shakedown. And then I
They
didn't.
played like last.
I didn't go to
Shakedown.
Harvest Fest. So
No, I think I was there for no. I don't know. Whatever I was doing, I missed them because I'd drinking and wandering around,
yeah.
talking to everybody I know. So eventually, like, I caught like at least 2 songs by every band but Ope. No, I think I got in there for 1 song, but it was just like I forgot.
Yeah. Easy to do.
Very easy to do.
Not that Ope is a forgettable band, but just the circumstances, the night, the event.
But this was, my first chance to see a full set and like.
Yeah.
I mean, they were great.
Dude, yeah, they are the little bit I have seen of them, fucking fantastic. Jake does such a good job, like he does with everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he's natural artist, so.
yeah, like it's so crazy. Like this last year or two, he's just kind of blown up around here. You know, like I see his hands seem to be in everything, and he's just excelling.
Oh yeah,
Good for him.
His Dropping Like Flies art project is starting to pick up more. It actually got covered in an article about
Yeah.
why he was doing it because his best friend actually died due to a heroin overdose growing up. So he's a very strong advocate against heroin and
Junkies.
and people who deal heroin.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. He did the logo for Podcastrophe.
Oh, nice.
So
That's the actual
Shout out
the
Jake
real
Peter.
the real thing that's right there, and that's
Yes.
you know
he
that's
did that.
you could
He
reach
did
out and touch
he
it.
did the full logo. Yeah, shout out
See
Jake
the-
Peter. Thank you for all that you've done, man.
I feel like I'm on a
being you, Jake.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to call somebody a prodigy without insulting all the hard work they've put into something. But if there's ever somebody that I've met that's a prodigy, it'd be Jake. So that's a compliment, not an insult.
He went down to Days of the Dead, Louisville
Yeah.
tattoo convention, and just like owned it.
Yeah, you got like two first place?
Yeah, I got 2 first place awards.
Like a black and gray sleeve, and then best sleeve.
Yeah, they got like best sleeve and best black and gray. I think those are the 2. And then a big article about him.
Mm-hmm. I do need to get some work done by him. I just don't know what I want him to do.
I got my Tay tattoo by him. My memorial tattoo.
Yeah, so does he have a heavy hand, or is he...
Oh, no, he's pretty light-handed, but
really?
It actually sticks really well. Because normally when you get a light-handed tattoo artist, the ink tends to not stick so well.
Yeah.
Because they're more like, they keep the needle up a lot more, but he actually sets it right to where it actually gets down into the dermis.
Yeah.
Without being like driving that needle down in you.
Mm-hmm. My artist, Erica, she's really heavy-handed, and she dry wipes. Which is the fucking worst. I remember I used to go to Eddie at Sacred Apple, and he would that would be like my favorite part of the tattoo session is after getting all that work done, just him spraying you and just spraying it and just wiping it. It's like that cold sensation over that fucking hot ass fucking worked on raw ass arm.
Ugh,
just like wipe it away.
That stuff,
I don't even like that.
that stuff. That's like.
And of course Eddie.
So good.
Eddie being Eddie. You guys ever met Eddie Mendez? He's tattooed at Sacred Apple.
Can't say I have heard the name, but I can't say I've met him.
What a character. So he did all kinds of gay shit. Like he'd be like, like as he's wiping you down, he's like, Poppy, your skin is so smooth. Just trying to fucking weird you out, just entertain you. He was a good dude. He's like, man, I'm gonna get the chicken wire out tonight.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to get the chicken wire out tonight.
He was fucking funny. He's like, my old lady's gonna fucking freak out when she sees me bringing you home. Put you in the basement. Yeah.
There's like a men's and women's restroom behind us.
Nope.
You got like a bodega going on down here.
Just storage closets.
Word. We got one room that has 2 closets. That's
call it, Steve.
more luxury than I have, and I don't know. I have no metaphors available at this time. I'm just gonna stop.
It's just storage space in the basement. They got like shelves and stuff. It looks like it's like perfect for like jars storing stuff. Yes.
It'd be a good place to put your stuff.
Yeah.
It has turned out to be great for stuff.
Fantastic
for stuff.
This one is pretty empty. It's got some stuff. That one's I've used that one directly behind you, Steve.
Full of your skeletons?
Nope, just stuff.
Honestly,
just stuff.
No skeletons.
Your real personality.
Nothing to clean out.
My real personality. Nah, it's just mainly just stuff in that one, but a little bit of stuff in this one. So I did a poll on Facebook, and the question was if I should be doing longer episodes, which are like an hour 45 plus, or if I should do shorter episodes, which are like an hour to hour and a half ish. A resounding 18-5. Everybody voted for shorter episodes.
Oh yeah.
Damn. Y'all really...
I didn't even vote. I was waiting for the outcome.
It's like, y'all want to hear me, but you don't want to hear me for that long.
Well, see, it's all about you gotta like provide 10-minute intervals of stimulation.
Yeah, you're right.
Reading this book on psychology,
You're right.
and it says that like the average attention span of a human being is about 9 3/4 minutes, and then you gotta like, boom, you're like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm doing something
for sure.
different. Pay attention, and then like go on a lull, and then 10 more minutes, you gotta be like, look at my dick. I mean,
My old
Call him a fact.
what's up?
my history teacher taught me that. Not the whole look at my
The
dick
dick thing?
but, no,
Your history teacher taught you how to look at his dick.
no, the attention span thing is he said it was like every 15 minutes, but But he tried to. That's how he ran his class. Every 10 to 15 minutes, he would just immediately change subject.
Throw black cats in the middle of the classroom. Are you awake?
But he wouldn't get our attention. He would just change the subject, and it was fun. It was a fun class. He was an interesting teacher. Really, it was weird. He was like a really bipolar teacher too, because one minute he'd be having fun, having a good time. Next minute he was pissed off the entire class. It was weird, but I liked him.
It sounds threatening.
Kind of was.
Sounds unsafe for a child's mind. Or it sounds perfect for a developing
we were
mind.
sophomores, so I don't know how. We weren't. Let's say I had him my sophomore and senior year. Yeah.
I had a teacher in the 4th grade. They used to beat the shit out of me. Oh, dude, man, did I deserve it, though? Mr. Crumb, I feel sorry for Mr. Crumb. That dude, I mean, I did everything I could to step on his fucking toes, and, like, he'd lose it a couple. He threw me across a couple of rows of desks. I spent 3/4 of my 4th grade year standing in the corner. I didn't have a desk. I didn't even have a desk. I came into class, and I went to the corner. And goddamn, I deserved it. No, this was elementary school. This was elementary school, man. 4th grade. I spent my 4th grade year in the corner, the whole thing.
Man,
That's
elementary
me in the
was-
corner. That's me in the spot.
I wrote that song, actually. I wrote those lyrics.
in
That's my
elementary,
song.
I was a fucking saint. 6th grade, I was
I
still
couldn't imagine you not being a saint.
I was still good. It was just my grades really started slipping because I didn't give a shit.
Same.
And
You learn everything by middle school. By the time you get to high school, you're like, oh, this
Basically.
again? Shit, now I have to
Basically.
write bigger papers and read thicker books?
No,
Fuck.
I just started caring more about like hanging out with friends and that instead of doing homework. I was like, this is. I mean, it was one of those things, and this carried on into high school. Where it was like, I didn't feel I needed to do the homework, so my grades suffered.
Amen to that.
And then they would give me the test, and they're like, well, we're gonna see who did the study and who did the homework, and it's really gonna show. And they'd always look at me, like, and then I'd be like, bring on that test,
Bring that test on.
because the test is where I like excelled. They're like, how the fuck do you get zeros on all your fucking homework? I'm like, because I don't do them.
Did you get lectures? They take you out in the hallway and be like, why
Yeah.
are you failing my class? I
Yeah,
got
they're
that
like-
a lot.
Oh yeah,
They're
I
like,
love
you
those.
Pass every fucking
What?
test.
You pass every fucking
You're
test.
so
How you-
smart.
Like, why don't you do the homework? Because I don't need to do the homework.
fuck
The
you.
Homework is supplementary material meant to drive it home. It's meant to make it stick in your mind. If it doesn't need to stick in your mind, you don't need to do it. I never took notes. Not shit. Then I got to college, and that shit was a lot harder.
Yeah.
My habits, my work habits, did not carry over.
No, I had that in high school too. Like my thing was, I pressed the teachers to get our homework before the very last minute of class because I could do as much as I could before the end of class, and then I'd shove it in my textbook and put it in my locker till the next time I came to class. If I got it right at the end of the class, I didn't do it, or I'd get it and I'd try to get as much done before I handed it in, and I would counter if I didn't finish it, I'd just start writing BS in, just whatever I could to beat the incompletion, because as long as I got all of it done, I could still hand it in and get it as a completion for my homework
Right.
and get points towards it. Because even you get wrong ones, you get just points out of it towards your stuff, and an incompletion would just wreck your stuff. So I just started doing that, and I loved like turning in like history homework or English homework and stuff, and just all the craziness I would write in for my answers. My teachers would be like, everything you write in that's an actual answer is right, but some of your answers that are just to fill in real quick are just something else. They're like, are you gonna be a writer or something someday? And
I was about to say, it's like maybe like now I've been in talks with my friend. He's a psychologist. We're gonna meet with him next Thursday.
No, I did meet with the school psychiatrist quite a bit, because they'd always send me to them because they were like, there's something wrong with this kid. But I was that crazy goth kid in high school and stuff.
Where'd you go?
Jeff.
Okay.
So naturally, when I was sophomore when Columbine happened.
There's no lag. I'm listening.
So I got a bunch of the Columbine BS
Oh, no shit.
work. Like, it was awful. Me and my friends were, like, targeted super bad. Like we never caused any problems. We always got along great with, like, teachers and whoever else because, you know, we didn't disrupt class. Like, we actually would do our work and actually, well, as much as our work as we could before we went home.
Yeah.
I refused to do anything at home. But, and even other students and stuff, you still have the people who are like, you're fucking weird, or you'd have, like, the super religious people like, Jesus loves you. Oh, I can feel them being afraid of me, or oh, I can feel the Satan in them, and we're like, you're dumb.
Oh man, the music I was hearing when I went to the Indy 500.
Yeah.
Man, they had some song that said "My pussy's for Christ" and shit. Like I'm like,
What the fuck?
I'm like,
Your
whoa,
pussy's for
whoa.
Christ.
I'm saving myself for Jesus.
Man, that shit was like, you guys are devil worshippers. You can't have my pussy.
That's
I'm
even
like,
weirder, man.
Damn.
That's fuck. What the?
But as soon as Columbine happened, it was like complete 180. They're like all eyes on us. Everybody scrutinized us. I had a girl in my earth science class that I sat next to. Got along great. Like, I even worked on projects and stuff with her, and then that happened. And like, I'm sitting there and she's like just staring at me, and I'm like, what? She's all like kind of looking back. She's like, if you're gonna shoot up the school, I'm not saying you're going to, but if you do, could you please not kill me? And I'm like, and I told her, I was all like, I'm never gonna shoot up the school, but if I was going to, I'd shoot you just for saying that. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I was like, I'm not gonna shoot you, I'm not gonna kill you, and I'm not gonna shoot up the school. I was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. She goes, oh, okay. She's like, you sure? I was like, I'm fucking positive. I was like, just don't ever fucking talk to me again. And she never talked to me again.
Yeah, that's really shitty to say to anyone.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, one, you're saying you're definitely saying, hey, I think you're gonna shoot up the school. That's like the very wrong thing to say to someone that would, because they're like,
or if you think that this person at any chance would, that is the worst thing you could say.
Oh
to
yeah,
them.
because that person's already unstable.
Unstable, and they might
you
they
might
could
just
very
trigger
well
them.
have they could very well have a gun right there and be like, well, doing it now, boom, because that's and that was like the immediate like scrutiny I got.
Yeah.
Like through the rest. No, I think that was that might have been freshman year. What year did Columbine happen?
Columbine happened in 98 or 99.
99.
Okay, then that was
Yeah, it was April 20th.
okay, that was my freshman year then. So it wasn't until like my junior year when a lot of people just like started coming back around, because even sophomore year was still a little edgy and just off, and then it was like my junior year when people was like, oh, okay, whatever. But then they kicked me out junior year because I thought they thought I was a threat to the student body.
Really?
Because my girlfriend at the time and I got in a really big fight, and she got all upset and crying to her parents, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, called up saying I'm a fucking psychopath and stuff. I was like, I didn't even touch her. We're stupid high school kids yelling and screaming at each other, and got me fucking kicked out. Like, called the school and said I was yada, 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 craziness. I had to go to a psychiatrist and a therapist to get cleared to come back to school before I could even come back.
That shit gets serious. Like,
and I'm like,
assuming.
that's like a serious, like, fucked with my life shit.
Yeah, of course. No, that shit gets so serious. People assuming, oh, look, it's the fucking goth kid or the fucking metalhead kid over there. He's gonna shoot up the fucking school. I mean, if you look at you know about the West Memphis 3?
I've heard that before, but I have no recollection of what it means.
The West Memphis 3 are 3 dudes that listen to heavy metal music. They fucking did, apparently they did like mock satanic rituals and shit like that, like just fucking around. And a murder happened in their town, and of course everybody was like, yeah, it was them. So the police, of course, arrested them as persons of interest. And after like hours and hours and hours of interrogation, they basically, like, one of them cracked and was like, yeah, we did it. Like, even though they didn't.
Oh yeah,
they can do that.
Yeah.
Psychology.
Yeah.
Psychology.
So they spent, I think, like 18 plus years in jail, and finally like evidence came forth that exonerated them.
Yeah, I heard of that. There's also there's cases like that all over the place, like especially after Columbine, that they're attacking everything, and they're like all over the place, like, oh no, this is this, and like even like I even had troubles with my parents afterwards for the style of dress and lifestyle I was choosing to go follow through and go forth with. Like they're always like putting pressure on me and stuff. Be like, well, maybe you should cut your hair, maybe you should dress different. And
all I wanted was
yada,
a Pepsi.
Yada, yada. No, all I wanted was a Pepsi. Just one
Pepsi.
Pepsi. Suicidal, but still get the tendencies. Bringing back the memories.
I went to your institutions. I went to your school system.
Style.
I just wanted some attention.
What do you mean? My best interests.
Okay, so I think you caught what I was doing there.
What the fuck was that? Like,
that was Limp Bizkit.
Oh, I'm not very familiar with Limp Bizkit.
That's not.
I know Break Stuff.
No,
I know
this is off their first album.
Okay, I know the song Break Stuff and Rollin'.
It's not Limp Bizkit.
So that was
Like, I did not get into Limp Bizkit.
I think that was Counterfeit. Yeah. No.
No, I did not get into Limp Bizkit.
No.
It was not my thing.
It's not.
I like Break Stuff just because it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, you got into later Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
It's SOD.
When he got around Method Man.
Yeah.
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 No.
No, I did end up getting back to school. It was like second semester junior year I got kicked out. So I missed the majority of that semester and then all of first semester senior year. Then I came back second semester senior year and I only had to go half days because I was in like alternative school and all that. And I like tested out of like everything they had and like got full credit for everything I tested out of, and then just went and did extra stuff because I had to do something while I was there. They were like, oh, you can't just come in and hang out. You have to do something. So it actually ended up making school that much easier because I only went half days in alternative school and gave me a shit ton of credits. So when I come back to school, I only have to go half days because they were like, you can either go for 3 periods every other day, or you can pick an elective and come back and just do half days every day. And I'm like, I'll do that because otherwise I'll forget what day I have to come back. Because some weeks I'd only do 2, other 3, and I'd just get confused. Because at that time, I was an idiot teenager that liked to get drunk and get high and fuck off.
Have you ever met a cool teenager, though? Like, most people are like, I was an idiot teenager. And then, like, all of us, like, our age now, we're like, yeah, teenagers are idiots.
Yeah, we're
like, yeah, you were an idiot teenager.
But as teenagers,
nobody's got it. We ain't got it figured out yet. We pretend, but, like, when you're a teenager, you're just starting to be aware that you don't fucking have anything figured out. When you're a kid, you know that you know everything. And then you get to be a teenager, you're like, oh, my fucking God. I'm going to try everything. And then by the time you're an adult, you're like, what the fuck was I thinking? I still have no idea what's going on.
Why did I jump down those stairs? My knees hurt so bad.
See, I think I was an idiot teenager because I didn't try enough. I think I
tried too hard.
I stayed on the safe side way too much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wasn't like some goody two shoes, but like I didn't go out and party. I hung out with my friends. I mostly stayed inside. Yeah, and I think the worst thing I did was on a school night went and saw Journey.
You fucking rebel.
I know, man.
I bet you went to school the next day, didn't you? Did you go to school the next day?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
You rebel.
Was right there.
I was home by I think 1 in the morning.
That had to be a cool show though. Going and checking out Journey.
Oh yeah, that was my second concert. It was my senior year. We went and saw Journey. Got home 5 minutes before I got home 5 minutes before my dad got home.
My first concert
so
was
he didn't even know.
No.
Oh, so it was one of those you snuck out into the concert.
Well, he went to work. And before he went to work, I went to my buddy Matt's house, who was going with me to the concert. I said, "Hey, I'm going over here. We got a video project to work on." So on the way back, I was like, "Shit, it's getting real late. I don't know how long it's gonna. If I'm not back in time, I'm just gonna." So I called, left a message. Oh, tape machine, you know?
Yeah.
Like they used to.
Like on the answering machine.
Like, oh, shit, man. Like, I'm sorry. I fell asleep over here. We were over here working late, so I accidentally fell asleep. I'll be home real soon. Because I knew it was my dad's half night. He worked, like, 12-hour shifts, and then Wednesday he would come home, like, 6 or 7 hours in, and I was like, fuck, just in case, I'm gonna call. So I get home before him, play the message, erase it, get in bed, and as I'm climbing in bed, I see him pulling the drive. I'm like, fuck. And he was the type that, like, whenever he'd get home, he'd pop in my room, check it out, close the door, get on with it.
If I could go back to that sort of scenario, you just pretend like you're beaten off and your parents will leave you alone right away. Even just get your hand under the sheet.
That's what I thought exactly. Didn't pop in when you...
Shit.
They're
So
like, nope.
we got Holly Howard, which is my co-host Tyler's cousin, I think. She said, I bailed on school junior year to go to Mayhem Fest, first year with Disturbed and Slipknot. And she said, not quite Journey. That was my first concert.
I'm trying to angle my horns to the camera.
That was my first concert.
It's opposite, so you got everybody get your fucking horns up.
Dude,
It's the fucking camera angle, man. I'm all fucking discombobulated.
The very first Mayhem Festival was my first concert ever.
First concerts.
That was awesome.
Mayhem
My
Fest.
first concert was Ozfest '98.
Jealous.
The infamous Tool tour.
Yeah.
And that's when the crowd destroyed the lawn at Deer Creek,
shit.
where it was literally a Nema
Deer
started
Creek.
up. A Nema that build up, and as soon as that all the sod, because they used to sod it out there, all the sod was ripped up, and it was just dark cloud of sod, this wave just from the lawn to the pavilion, and everybody was just hurling it, just chunks of sod, and the pavilion ended up getting full of the sod, and it ended up being just this total, just almost barren, just dirt field back there. They're kicking people out faster than they not fast enough to, because at the time the fencing wasn't good, so they could go around and get in the holes of the fencing, and other people letting them back in. So people would get kicked out, and they're getting back in, and they kicked out over and over. Man. And it was just went psychotic over there.
I think festivals like that are like perfect for a first concert.
Could you imagine like the first guy that picked up the chunk of sod? Like, this is a good idea, and everyone else was like, look at that guy, I'm gonna do that too.
Yeah,
because before that, chunks of sod were being thrown around already.
Oh, okay.
But
So
it wasn't just like it wasn't like a pre-planned thing. Like it was already starting to get thrown around because people were getting rowdy out there, and there's chunks of sod.
Yeah, that happened at Mayhem, the first Mayhem.
And then
a lot of people got kicked out.
And then everybody ripped the lawn up and put it into the pavilion, and it was great because you just kind of look back and you could see the sky at one point, and then it all just went dark. This huge wave of sod just kept coming, and it was just unreal, like how just in unison the entire lawn just launched it. And then after that, it was just raining sod. It was great.
Raining sod! Steven, what was your first concert?
I mean, concert, when I was a kid, I thought my first concert was local. I went to what was Reilly Brothers at the time, and I saw Drowning Pool, Seven Dust, and a band called Craving Theo that never really did anything after that.
To me, that's a concert. Like they're
It was amazing. Lejean, the singer of Seven Dust, signed my shirt. I still have the shirt.
He's such a cool dude.
Yeah. My actual first concert, though, was on my 15th birthday. I actually took my drummer with me. I bought a bunch of tickets, and because I didn't have a lot of friends. I was 15, and my drummer was my brother's friend at the time, and I gave him a ticket, and so he rode with us there, and I saw Korn and Stained on their tour.
Nice.
And then Korn was my favorite band at the time when I was 15 years old, so it was fucking dream come. I went backstage to try to meet the band, not backstage, back parking lot. The limousines were pulling. I was hoping I'd get an autograph or something. So I totally lost Zach because I didn't meet him in the meeting spot. It was totally my fault. I was hoping maybe he'd still be waiting there when I got back, but I'm desperately hoping I'm going to meet these dudes, and I didn't. And then I run out to the meeting spot, and Zach's not there. And Zach totally got abandoned in Indianapolis that night, and it's my fault. My ride, which was my dad, he was just like, yeah, he probably got it figured out. Just drove me back. just drove me back home. No big deal. Oh man, Zach got stranded in Indianapolis. He was only 16. He's only a year older than me. So his mom had to drive all the way to Indianapolis to pick him up. And it was my fault. I'm sorry, Zach. I'm sorry, Zach. It was my fault. I wanted an autograph, man.
Like,
They were my idols.
I've heard the story from Zach's side too, and he's all like, "Dude, I don't even blame Steven because
it was my dad's fault.
His dad was just all like, he's not here, whatever.
We'll just go. He's fine. He'll be fine." Like there's a child in the biggest
and he's like,
city
"Dude,
in
I'm
the
fucking
States.
16 years old, downtown, like down in Indy, just with no way home." He's like, I had to walk to a gas station to fucking be able to find a phone to use to call my mom, and then he's like, I even didn't know exactly where I was. I had to ask the gas station attendant where he was just to get her to come pick him up.
Yeah, I remember being like, "Dad, don't you think we like look for him or like wait a little bit longer?" He's like, "Nah, he'll be fine. He probably found a ride." But well, I mean,
probably found a ride.
He did find a ride.
There were other people there that we knew.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't a safe assumption, but it was an assumption. But it was a terrible assumption.
That is an assumption for sure.
I mean,
dude, that dude's a dick anyways.
I've totally done the whole like
fuck that guy. Yeah.
I've totally done that. Like actually down.
Is that on the internet now? Is that forever? Is that infinite? Did I just say that?
Zach is a dick.
No. My biological
your
father.
Yeah, that is on the internet.
Yep.
Oops. Oh, dang. The guy that didn't want me to exist in the first place. He's going to know.
You heard it here first. Stephen Dilden has daddy issues.
Oh, my daddy. Oh, my daddy.
No, I've done that before where I've ridden down to Indy to go see a show there and knew a bunch of people there, and I got a ride down there, and it ended up leaving with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, got a ride to someone else, and they're like, everybody's like, "You gonna be all right?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine," because they're like checking out, and like, I ended up driving this other person's car home because they're like, "Oh, I don't know if I should drive. I'm getting really tired," and I'm like, "Oh, I'll drive you," and they're like, "You sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Drove them, dropped them off their place. She's like, "You can take my car to your place." It's like, "No, I'm fine." And ended up walking across town to my house. And I got home, and then as I'm getting home, the people that I went with originally were calling me to see how I'm doing. I was like, "Oh, no, I just got home." They're like, "Oh, sweet. You want to come hang out?" And I ended up walking back to the other side of town again to go hang out. And they're like, "So how was your night?" I'm like, "Eventful."
Did a lot of walking.
I went on an adventure.
I went on quite the adventure. It was great.
Indianapolis is always an adventure if you don't get shot.
True.
It's a lot of fun actually going out of town with one group of people.
Chicago.
Because I've done it more than one. That's not the only time I've done that where I've gotten a ride somewhere like out of town and then ended up coming back with a different group of people.
Yeah.
Getting a ride back another way, and like at first it was weird, but after doing it a couple times, I'm like, this is actually kind of fun.
This is a lifestyle. I can
this
get
is
behind
my
this.
lifestyle. Hey, Austin, how'd you get there? I don't know. This person. How'd you get home? This person.
You meet some interesting people in Indianapolis.
Life finds a way.
That happened a couple times in like 1 year with like the same person. I want to say that I either rode with them there or rode with them back, and like there's other people who were like, "How does Austin get around?" "I don't know. He just finds rides somehow." "What do you mean?" "Like, we were in Indy, or we were in Chicago, or we were like somewhere else, and like he just ran into people, ended up hanging out with them. They wanted to leave. Yeah, we wanted to leave, and he said, "Oh, go ahead. I'll find a way back." And then he ends up back, like no problem at all.
And he did it.
So,
he fucking did it.
So
he got back.
At a point in time, that Tupac song was your favorite song. I Get Around, huh?
Yeah, I do get around.
Creed, what was your first concert?
When we went to Detroit with this guy.
Yeah.
But fucking
We didn't go to Detroit. We went to
Michigan.
Yeah, we went to Michigan.
Yeah, we went to Michigan
with the Founders.
Yeah, and then on the way back, man, we had a ball, bro. I had the whole back shelf. It was like full of fucking Corona empty bottles.
Nice.
Where we were standing at.
We went to Founders. On the way back from Founders, we stopped at like 18th Street, for their release. And from 18th Street, we drove over to Fort Wayne and went to Pierre's and saw Steel Panther.
Nice. I'd like to see
And
that
then
show.
drove home from there.
That sounds like a fun show.
Oh, it was a great time.
Oh, it was fun.
They've
a lot of people there too.
They're such a
metal.
controversial band in terms of like they released a distortion pedal. I think it's a distortion pedal. It's called the Pussy Melter. It's an overdrive. It's an overdrive pedal.
It's an overdrive
called the
from
Pussy
Satchel.
Melter, and it's like a lot of stores are like refusing to sell it because it says pussy on it, and so bad.
I hear they're not into butt metal.
Damn. No, they're not.
They don't like butt metal.
They don't like butt metal.
Death to butt metal.
And death to all.
I'm
not
probably
metal.
maybe
They even say death to all not metal.
butt metal.
All not metal.
Death to all not metal.
All butt metal.
I think it's a song. Actually.
No, it's death to all butt metal. They
Were you
don't
guys
like
here
butt
when
metal.
we had the Not Metal Metal Fest?
What? That don't even sound right.
No.
It was right behind Reeler Brothers and the little fucking warehouses back there.
Well, his little warehouses he had that he'd rent out to people
Yeah.
like
Brandon,
for more than what he should have. For
It
what
was my senior year. It was 2009. It was I think Theophagy, Basilisk, fucking Narrow House, some
41.
no like X Sum or Zero Sum. That's what it was. Zero Sum, Mound Builders with their old fucking singer. I think it's Jason Roach. Then
for my time.
I think Threat Level was there. Yeah, it was a big ass show. Gorgasm played, I think, too. I don't know.
They sound like they might have been the only good band.
It was a
other
fucking
than Mound Builders.
Yeah, it was just a fucking conglom, man. It was just, they had one stage for the not metal, and then they had one stage for the metal. It was Not Metal Fest, and I was there. I was there. I seen it.
Nice.
I seen
But yeah, you made me remember that. If there was a band out there that you could claim is butt metal, who would it be?
That's a big question, Dick.
Tis
butt metal.
butt metal.
Five Finger
metal.
Death Punch.
Yeah.
Absolute butt metal.
So there's plenty of butt rock.
Nickelback.
That's butt rock. We're talking about butt metal.
Butt metal. Butt metal. Butt metal. Butt
They're
metal.
I don't know.
Korn?
I don't know. Oh,
Corn. Dude, their
right
new CD,
in the childhood.
their new
yeah,
CD
you're right.
is
You're
pretty
right.
solid.
Does it slap you
It
right in the butt?
slaps right in the butt.
Clapping them alien cheeks.
Right with its metal. It's straight up butt slapping metal.
No, it's a solid record, I think.
No, I gotta say, I used to be a Korn kid.
Yeah.
Like they're
I think we all
self-titled.
have at some point.
They're self-titled, and then
We're all children of the Corn.
Oh, yeah.
Life is Peachy.
They were nice when they first came
Fuck
out.
yeah.
Like,
I love their self-titled.
like,
Self-titled and Life is Peachy were great, and then they came out with Follow the Leader.
That was when they got
after Follow the
popular.
Leader, that's when they started dropping to me.
They got popular. Of course, they started dropping out. They had
Yeah.
to start pushing because they got
Yeah.
signed.
No, that whole album you could tell was just completely different from the first two. Like it had its feel. It felt like Korn to a sense, but you could tell it was definitely not Korn anymore.
Because they had money.
They got
Had money.
they got signed to this big label, and they totally leaned on what the label wanted them to do, and everything past that just kind of went towards that instead of where their
They
roots
should've
were.
stayed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
They're-
man, they'd already grown themselves to being a huge, like, self-sustaining band before that. They just wanted that MTV
Extra.
limelight.
Yeah.
Back when MTV still played music.
To me, like I feel like the label influence isn't quite there as much these days.
Because the internet ruined
Well,
everything.
because they don't, they're beyond, like, the label contracts. Like, you get
Yeah.
bands that, like, play through the label contracts, and then they can just do whatever they want because they've already, like, fulfilled all their contract needs, and they have enough money to where they can self-produce
Well, no, I think
they can kind of,
labels
like,
just
self-produce
don't-
their own, and Korn has their own label now.
Yeah.
And they're putting music out on their own label, so they no longer have, like, this, like,
hovering thing over your shoulder.
like CEO just pushing for this certain sound.
Yeah, but I don't feel like that.
They don't have
that
this contractual obligation telling them that you need to at least like pop it up a little bit, be a little more radio friendly, and you know, there's plenty of bands out there that do stuff like that, or they hook up with other bands that are on this label. Like, oh no, I'll push you out through this label. All you got to do is get through your other one, and you definitely see them start to come back. But they've been so far removed from what their core drive and like core like writing process was from their original work, that it's like you'll kind of get the feel like they're trying to like search for it, they're like digging for it, but it's not there anymore because they've just been so filled with and been writing all this other crap butt music that it's just overtaken kind of like their whole writing process. Like that's kind of like when you start writing and doing something a certain way for so long, it kind of becomes who you are, so it's always going to be there. Yeah, like it's hard to find, you know, a different way out.
True that. When you think, how many different labels has Boner Jovi been through?
They are, you know, from what I'm to understand, the most famous band of all time. They're like they predate War. I mean,
like,
they've been around since the beginning of time.
They developed a label in order to be a band.
No, they were the original band label. They were like God when it comes to music, from what I'm to understand. Like, first there was Boner Joe, and then there was music. There was no in between. So.
Yeah, did they like they put out like this self-titled EP of like 1.5 songs. And then, like, they immediately, like, had all these record contracts coming out, and they weren't paying them enough money.
Well, there's no such thing as record contracts.
So they developed their own label to start putting CDs out on, and sold them for overhead prices just so they could...
No, it was 8 tracks.
Yeah, they had 8 tracks. Because people weren't buying enough of them, and they had to go buy 8-track players, and they almost brought back the 8-track.
Yeah, was that the Big Bang EP?
The big, they were there. They were there when
they
God
started
met
it all, man.
Egypt.
It started music.
When like Jesus met Buddha.
I heard Richie Riffs actually taught Jimi Hendrix how to play guitar.
There's no such thing as Jimi Hendrix.
That doesn't even make sense.
Shit. Richie Riffs is the guitar god. What are you talking about?
That doesn't even make sense. Jimi Hendrix is
Jimmy who what? Shit.
What do you think Jimi Hendrix
No, for what I'm sure, that guy was just a stage character, and Richie Riffs was actually in fucking behind stage playing guitar the whole time. You know,
ghost player.
There was you ever hear like the theory that like, you know, the pyramids were built by aliens and Egyptians worshipped gods and shit? It was actually Boner Joe.
Yeah, it was actually.
And it was the music. Those pyramids were built in dedication to the Boner. It's actually like a weird. They were. They couldn't get the shape right.
The Sphinx was actually a drum recording studio for Hugh G. Rection.
They were supposed to be giant cocks, but the architect got it all wrong, and they ended up being nipple-shaped triangular pyramids. The
only thing that got right
those are actually supposed to be boners.
Tomb Raider 1 graphics.
This is historic. Look at it. Google it. Google that shit. It's real. You can Google anything. The internet doesn't lie. Boner Joe.
Boner Joe.
Why'd you have to bring them up? I'm all excited now. You got a heavy metal hard on, man.
You got a heavy metal hard on?
Video they were in. Why they beat up Dave?
No, they never lost a fight. They're the best. They're the best.
What was that?
You sounded so
They
concerned
didn't beat
for
up Dave. They beat up that guy trying to pretend to beat Dave.
Mr. Chip Dave. Chippy Dave. Dave Chippy.
Dave.
Yeah, he had blonde hair. Dave doesn't have hair.
What?
Well, he's got hair. He's got more beard than he does hair.
I've seen the video. That guy didn't try to hug anybody. That's obviously not Dave.
Yeah.
No, somebody got beat up in that video.
Dave hugs everyone.
Yeah, Dave Chips is an imposter.
He gives the best hugs.
They're good hugs.
They're the best hugs.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I can agree. Good hugs. Good hugs. Well,
so we're nearing the hour mark. We're gonna try to end this at right around an hour.
Damn, an hour?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to push for that hour and a half.
We should
force people to enjoy it.
We're gonna see what kind of interest we get with just an hour episode.
Just the hour episode. There's so much more to talk about.
There is. There's a little bit.
You
So
guys need to watch that movie, Good Boys.
Good Boys.
I already saw it.
Hilarious.
I want to see that. I do want to see that.
It was good. I watched the preview.
Man.
Did you went to the
Do you like
theaters
Superbad?
Or is it
That
like
was
out
alright.
now?
You're gonna like.
It's
Is
not
it
my
like in the
favorite.
If you like
theaters or-
Superbad, you're gonna like this. I love a lot of the things that they do because they make it makes you go, oh fuck, I was that stupid little kid too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching the trailer and being
I got
like,
you a
yeah.
necklace. Ooh, it stinks. I'll put it on later.
Ugh. Yeah.
I need to see that.
He said, these are, I got some weapons. These are my mom's nunchucks.
So big shit happened yesterday.
Big shit.
Fucking Nancy Pelosi popped up on the live and was like, hey, we're going to try to impeach Trump. Like, officially. That's awesome. But I don't think anything's going to happen.
I saw something that said that it's like a
Yeah.
Fuck
Oh,
that.
you're gonna
let's
impeach him.
bruise his ego. Fuck that.
But
Are we still putting
He needs
faith
it.
in politics?
no, everybody thinks the people up top is what you have to change when everybody in between is what's
Yeah.
wrong with the
How I
system.
say that,
Absolutely.
Why have a fucking debate and argue with each other when you're supposed to unite the nations?
Yep.
You know, fuck.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. Get that damn thing out my face.
Nobody can hear you.
I see the thing moving up and down, bro.
Yeah, you're all background noise.
Good for the back.
So
Good for the background.
That
It needs some
background noise sounds
too.
like shit.
So if I type something like this on my internet profile, I'll get rated by the FBI. If I look at the camera on a live podcast and I say "kill the billionaires," that's something I think we can all agree
Well,
with.
you didn't say a specific person, so.
Kill all billionaires, every one of
At
them.
this point, there's probably hundreds of them, so.
There's like 30.
Do you know what'll happen with their?
I don't know. I'm
Roughly.
speaking out of my
It'll
butthole.
30 to
either
100.
be all their money will either go to their next of kin or it'll be seized by the government and never seen again and do nothing good with. So
So, are y'all familiar with Harry Potter?
who?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
So you know what a horcrux is?
Yeah.
No.
What do you think is Donald Trump's horcrux?
Shit, Horcrux.
He has
Stormy
one.
Daniels.
Horcrux. Herpes.
I was gonna say Donnie Jr.
Yeah. Gone
I
around
mean,
with
like,
a big
it's
lights.
Donald
say
Trump Jr. It's Stormy Daniels. It's his daughter that he wants to have sex with.
Donald Trump.
He wants to fuck his daughter for sure.
It's gonna be Trump 1, his fucking plane.
Yeah.
Sorry about
The WWE or Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that guy's fucking
How many
immortal.
is that now? I have a name.
I lost count after
Stormy Daniels, Donald Trump Jr., his daughter, his plane, Vince McMahon.
I have so many souls.
So many
I've split my
souls.
souls into so many, and then I've made so many horcruxes. It's great. I'm never gonna die.
His Trump Tower, both Trump Towers, and then there's
Burn it
there's a hidden
down.
one somewhere.
hidden one.
down.
There's a hidden one. It might be.
No, it's an underground bunker.
Now, if you could make a horcrux, what would it be? Like, for those who are not familiar with a horcrux, it's when you commit an unspeakable act that basically splits your soul. This is some fucking geeky Harry Potter shit. Splits your soul, and basically you put a piece of your soul into an item or a person, being, and basically it helps you live forever.
In Muggle terms.
It pretty much says you can continue to be, you can return to life and be brought back over and over and over again because your soul is not completely destroyed and it's constantly still alive.
Yeah, but
in another
it's
vessel.
so broken that it's like, So what would you make a horcrux out of? What would you turn into a horcrux?
What would I turn into a horcrux? I would Goku.
Goku. But it has to be a personal item to you, like a personal thing to you.
The personal thing to me.
Goku's not real, so
Fuck you. He's not real.
Well, you gotta hide it. It's got to be something no one
he
would
died for
ever
my
look
sins.
for.
Someone. It's got to be. I don't know.
Someone or something that's in your life.
In my life, ISIS.
ISIS,
I would.
the dog.
My dog. My dog ISIS, because nobody would ever hurt her.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And
You
if,
better be more specific.
You better not fuck it.
and if she was a horcrux, she could live even longer.
Yes, you're right.
Oh.
ISIS, the dog, not the band, not the
Terrorist.
Islamic terrorist group.
Terrorist.
You hear that, people? You'll have to kill the most adorable, bestest bulldog ever in order to kill me.
She is. Fact.
And actually, if you did that,
Saint
other
it.
people would actually kill you.
Steven, what would your horcrux be?
Well, if it was something that people weren't going to suspect.
That's another factor to put in there. Because if people are after you and wanting to take you down, they're going to want to go after your horcrux.
And it was something that was going to last forever because it didn't get used a lot or so or something like that. I would say maybe like a shoe.
A shoe?
Shoe. Because, you know.
Creed
Or a
wouldn't be able to have
microphone, maybe?
horcrux,
I don't know.
Because whenever he'd make a horcrux, he'd probably smoke it.
Ah, fuck. I smoked myself again.
Shit. Now I'm high on myself.
Oh, man, that could be taken
Shit.
so wrong.
Man, that is some potent shit.
Man, I feel like I just
It's
got
that new Creed strain.
I feel like I just...
That's an episode of How High.
That's all like, man,
Ivory?
man, I just smoked this and I feel like my soul just got completed. Oh, fuck!
If I had to make a horcrux, and this is going to come as a surprise to people, but I used to have this coworker, and I swear she was like half special. We're gonna say, she was not all there, high functioning, not all there, and I like to refer to her as the panda. Her name was Tiffany. I called her the panda because she was like, no matter what happened to her, like constantly life was trying to kill her, but she was surviving. And much like the panda, teetering between extinction and endangered, it survives. Nature.
So you would make her a horcrux.
Yeah, because she's basically invincible.
You just gonna give her some eucalyptus and
Basically invincible.
yeah.
Like the panda, like
Good luck,
nature
there's
keeps
no
trying to get
nutritional
rid of
value
it,
in
but it's
this.
still there.
I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean those fucking things, they don't even fuck.
They're
I,
dumb
I,
as
know-
fuck.
I have another
They're so
horcrux.
dumb.
I have this little Ghostbuster toy that I'd make a horcrux.
Yeah.
That has never been lost. It always like shows up. Like even if you think you lose it, it's like shows up eventually. And
I
make
would,
that a horcrux. And there's only like one person in my life that actually knows what it is, and they would never want to destroy me.
You know what I would make a horcrux? No personal value whatsoever. One of those old fucking Nokia phones.
Oh, man.
God damn.
That's a 3-day battery right there.
Fuck yeah, it is.
3-4, no, about a week.
That I was about to say that battery's
That's
gonna last
about
a
a week.
week.
But
My
the
bad.
phone itself, indestructible.
Hell yeah.
Fucking adamantium phones.
Like what's upstairs?
Yeah.
Those cats are crazy.
Damn.
Nah, I think the kids are home. The wife and kids are home, which means dinner time is near. And I think
If my horcrux was
I
a
think
dinner,
it's time for food. I'm ready for it. I'm really hungry.
I think it's time for a Budweiser. How about we all like say goodnight to the crowd with a Budweiser in our hand?
You?
Let's do it.
You got the wheels on the chair, bud.
Budweiser?
The wheels on the chair.
Who cares?
I'm good on the Budweiser.
I don't want one either, but I want one.
You?
I want one, but I don't want one. You know what I'm saying?
If you're gonna open,
He said no.
I don't do
If you're
Budweiser.
gonna open
He
a
said
Budweiser,
he's all about
you
prohibition.
gotta be as
and
manly
oppression.
as possible with it, because this is like a man's beer.
This is diesel.
So you just gotta straight up just
Oh
Yeah, I
shit!
can't do that.
Use your eye socket.
you gotta just straight up arm that shit out of there.
Don't use your eye socket. Kids,
you know
kids
all about
watching
that,
at home, don't use your eye socket if you don't want ripped open black eyes. Yeah, or I thought we were gonna fucking cheers, but okay. Dick just wants to chug. Dick,
Salud.
chug. Dick,
My bad.
chug. What? Oh,
Yeah, I learned how to open beer with my arm in a bar.
that's actually not as bad as I remember.
The ideal place to learn it, because if I rip my arm open, there's like sober people there to like be like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
Instead of like at a buddy's house, super drunk, and they're like, "We can't take you to the hospital because we're all underage." I did see somebody try to open it with their eye before, and they cut their eyelid.
Yeah, don't do that. So are we still doing Optimus Prime voices? Because
More than likely, I can check.
I've been under the influence that we've been doing Optimus Prime voices the
Yeah, we're
entire
still doing
time.
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime.
No, it's actually
it got fixed.
it returned normal.
That sounds like me.
Wow.
The lag.
That is really behind us.
So if I talk
That's why
like
I always
this,
put that up because it's the live. It's like what's actually happening right now. It takes a couple seconds to stream
It's
it
like
to
a
Facebook.
5-second delay.
all right.
It's
It's
more than 5
it's like
seconds.
30 seconds. It's
That was
bad.
almost a full minute.
Yeah. All right.
People
well,
have been talking to us this whole time too, a little bit.
a little bit.
What do they got to say? Let's address them before
Tyler's
we go.
cousin. I guess this was when you were talking about leaving Zach in Indy. She says the Midwest is so much nicer than California. That would never happen here. All of that niceness and helpfulness. And then Miranda says, no, dinner time. It's after 7. I just got home. I got to do homework with the kids. Just worked 14 hours. It's not happening right now. Okay.
No
Either way, we're gonna
No,
go ahead and cut this because
you better get ready for some
We're
fish
an hour
sticks.
5. We're hitting into overtime with the fans.
We're getting
They
paid.
can't handle longer than an hour.
Bitcoins,
So
We did keep it quite a good movement of topics throughout
We did.
the show.
We
So
did.
if they got
Some
bored,
solid
it's on their
topics.
own.
we had some solid topics, I think. So catch us.
We barely talk politics.
Right.
Fuck politics.
We went straight from Trump to horcruxes.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Trump getting possibly impeached, which who knows? I don't know
you
if
have
it's
to
going to
destroy
happen.
all 7
Don't
Trump
nobody give a shit
cruxes.
about that.
Trumpcruxes.
We are the X-lax of movement. Is that not a good metaphor? X-lax. Everyone's looking at me like, what's that 90s medicine you're speaking of? My Metamucil. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Metamucil.
Let's see Trump get impeached so we can have 3 months of Mike Pence as president and how much damage he
No,
can do.
What if we kill all the billionaires?
Trump's impeached his entire cabinet and it's all gone.
Kill the billionaires. This is
who would take his spot? Nancy Pelosi.
billionaires.
I think so. Speaker of the House
Maybe that's why she's pushing so hard, because she wants to be viable in some way at one point in time in her life.
for a whole 3 months.
Yeah.
Just in case you didn't know, though, before we go, if we kill all the billionaires, they won't exist anymore.
You're not wrong.
Just saying.
You're not wrong.
And then we can take all their money. And
The government
then
would
more
take
all
millionaires would
be
be fine.
all be millionaires.
We'd
No,
all
if all the millionaires were smited, billionaires were smited, and we redistributed the wealth just in this one country, we could all be millionaires. Every single fucking one of us.
Yes.
So kill the fucking billionaires, ladies and gentlemen. Do it. That is a Judas Priest reference. Do it. In case if you don't reference, you don't get the reference. Then
How many million of people are in America?
do it.
Let's do it.
You mean billion?
Million.
Billion.
So there's a billion people in America, roughly.
So like 1 billionaire could make everybody in America a millionaire.
$1.
I don't know if 1 billionaire.
No, there's
Yeah,
there's 3 billion in India.
our math is off somewhere.
There's no math in what we're doing.
I don't believe there's a billion people in America,
Nonsense.
but we're
That euros
Building
is
up
worth
to
more
it.
than American money.
Guys, we have the internet at our fingertips, and
Yeah,
we're not even
we're-
using
We're on the
Where's the
internet
R&D
and we're not
department right
using
now
the
when we
internet.
do it?
How is that even
Austin's
possible?
favorite words. Google it.
Google it.
Google it. It's gonna be the new Judas
That's
Priest.
Creed's
Google
least
it.
favorite word.
There's gonna be a lawsuit.
Google it. Prove me wrong.
Oh, my son killed himself because he.
The
Googled
American
it.
population as of 2019 is 329,064,917 people.
One
So not
billionaire
even
could
a
make.
half a billion.
Yeah, 1 billionaire could make every human being in America at least $1,000.
I think there's more people than that.
I mean,
That's
right now, I mean,
2019 census.
you know how
there's
many people
definitely
just
more
had a
people
baby
than
just
that.
right now?
Yeah, there are.
Man, this baby's being born.
Oh, immigration, though.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, and how
that's
many?
as of the census.
God damn it.
Climate
I'm
change.
not gonna start saying it because it's gonna get.
Say it.
Controversy.
This is Podcastrophe. We don't have a safe
It's like,
space here.
hey,
I'm
how
just trying
many
to be
illegals are
controversial
flooding
here.
into the country right now and are still here with not being counted?
Greenhouse gases.
Shit.
And not counting the ones in the being imprisoned in boxes and cages.
Besides the Indians, everybody.
Buddy.
Right.
All right.
Can we just dismiss the fact that the original indigenous people were the Mexicans and the blacks, and we took
Not
over
true.
their...
The Mexicans are actually
We pushed them
Spanish
away.
descent.
He's
And
saying...
they're actually the most invasive peoples to a country because they're the ones that actually pretty much slaughtered and took out all the Central American
There's
tribes.
controversy.
Like, they're the whole reason, like, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, and all of them are pretty much gone and extinct.
The conquests.
Yeah.
Because the Spanish conquistadors.
Fuck you, Cortez.
Well,
Yeah.
oppression is real. America sucks. I mean, is my place. I love this place.
God bless
And it
America.
was
God
actually
bless this
the
place.
Spanish and the French that helped clear out a lot of the Native Americans west of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Isn't there a song about that?
Fuck them all.
I was really hoping someone would be like,
And-
yeah,
and
there's
that's where
probably...
the-
Yes, there is.
That's where the
Of course
bulk
there
of a
is.
lot of the populations were thriving the most after the Great Plague that hit the Americas before the settlers came, before Christopher Columbus and all them got over here. Because most of that plague hit the East Coast in the central areas were the heavily wooded and mountainous areas of that, because that's where the populations were most dense at the time. And they all pushed west into the more spread out, more desert and less congested areas to flee the plague. So, if you want to get really technical about it, it's the fucking French and the Spanish that did it.
Oh, absolutely.
And we just kind of like
So
bought
who were...
it from
So,
them.
We
so
bought it and then we slaughtered.
then the
And
question
then we just
remains,
finished
though.
the job.
Who were the indigenous people? Did thousands and hundreds of thousands of Africans get shipped over here under like in the bottoms of ships, or were they actually the
They got
indigenous
sold
people?
by
Who's to
Africans,
too?
too.
Because their entire history was
Yeah, their history is
wiped.
just wiped out too.
Why was their history wiped out? Is it because maybe they were the original indigenous?
I don't think they were. I think they were brought here.
I think they were brought here in the bottom of ships.
But
Creed, tell
is-
us. What happened?
according to
Where
what
do your
though?
people come from?
What, according to what though?
South Africa.
There you go.
South Africa?
I mean,
I thought they were all white down there.
All
now.
humanity originates in Africa.
Have you ever heard of the
No.
black indigenous people though in America? Like the original indigenous people? Look it up. Look it up.
Look up
It's
that
worth a look up, man. There's
I don't know about my history, bro. I know my bloodline from Arkansas.
Human life
My mom's from
originates in
Texas.
Africa.
My mom's from
China,
Texas, that's all I
Africa,
know.
Egypt. Who knows?
Shit.
Nobody really fucking knows, man. Read a book.
From all we know,
That's
Read
right.
a book,
Shit.
you
Y'all-
lose.
That's right.
You guys could be a third of black.
Read
Shit, you guys
a
don't
book.
know.
There's a book called A Brief History of Everything by Bill something. And basically it sums up everything in history that we are completely aware of as summarizingly as possible. And at the end of every fucking chapter of the book, the dude's like, we don't fucking know what's going on. Here's all the science behind it. Here's everything we know. But in reality, when it comes down to it, we have no fucking clue what's going on. And anybody who pretends like we know what happened thousands of years ago are just basing their shit on some bullshit that some motherfucker made up about some bullshit that some motherfucker made up. And nobody really has a clue about anything that's going on. And we're just here fucking suffering in this abysmal fucking existence of nothingness and solitude from the rest of all other existence that may be in the solar system of the universe, or who knows how many planets are there that could support life, and here we are existing on our own. Nobody wants to interact with us, so we're just going to burn ourselves alive.
Man, that sounds so exciting. No, I'm actually gonna. I should go get that out of my face. I don't want to fucking read that.
I can't
There's
read.
too many words. No, I'm gonna go get one of those DNA things and see my ancestry and whatever.
Me
And
23.
if there's any African in me, I'm gonna whoa Vicky that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm straight up gonna whoa Vicky it. Sell everybody in black and start, what is it?
No.
Yep.
No.
I mean, you could have Creed authenticate this, make
Yeah.
you full-fledged.
What is that? I can't even think of the word.
If it's not on Facebook, it's not real.
What's the word?
What's the word?
Christen me or whatever.
Yeah, Chris and you.
Just knight me into
Oh,
the
yeah,
black
there you
hood.
go. Knighting.
All right, I think we're just gonna leave it at that.
We're running out of coherence.
I'll put cornrows in my hair too.
$5 says you
All
won't.
right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a fun episode.
Hey, it's been good.
Time.
I love all of you.
I'm glad you guys could finally make your Podcastrophe debut.
And all of these guys.
Adios.
Boy.
Thank you guys for joining.
Optimus Prime.
Steven,
Huh.
it's good having you here, man.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
You can check Steven out in his band Lucifus.
Check me out,
They're
man.
not that good.
They-
They're okay to listen to.
That
The vocalist sucks.
Cock.
clock specifically.
Specifically.
You can check out Austin on Brews with Dudes regularly. Dungeons with Dudes regularly.
Semi-regularly.
Yeah. Are you in Random Band this year?
No, I'm not in Random Band.
Man, Random Band's
I
tough for
am,
me right now.
Hopefully, if it lines
trying to
up right,
smash-
meeting with a couple of guys about a
What happened with
actual musical project.
Nice.
I know what happens
Nice.
when you break a fucking.
So
Does anybody want to
that
volunteer
should be
to?
fun.
Anybody want to smash a bottle over my head before we leave, just so we can
No.
get some nostalgia? Come on. I've only had a
No.
minor concussion in the last 3 days. For
He doesn't remember.
6 hours, fucking 9
No.
months.
The best part is that when you see the
I'll do it
scars,
to
you don't
myself.
remember how that
No
happened.
bottle
Alright.
busting in the
Is
basement.
no, but if anybody's watching, like, how much money would you pay me right now to smash this bottle over my head? I've only got one concussion. I guess it is size. I'm just kidding. Good night, everybody.
All right, if that is all, please make every day a big dick day. Bye, guys.
That's that guy.
Woke up this morning with my dick in my hand. Girlie's to the right of me, just like I planned. It's gonna be a big dick day. 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 Big dick day. It's gonna be a big dick day. It's gonna be a big dick day.